Yeah, welcome back. Nidhi, has Nidhi joined? Yeah, Nidhi?
So,
Yes,
just
please.
a minute. So, got so enthusiastic about this discussion because I feel that I correlate to this a lot. So, my youngest son tend to be like that. He doesn't like being schooled and being directed in a particular way.
Hmm.
I've tried balancing with him. Like, I do not force him um, on that front a lot. And what you mentioned, have given him a little bit of free hand to get himself evolved the way he wants. He's too young, he's 8 only. However,
He
in
goes to
this,
a school?
huh?
He goes to a school?
He goes to a
Conventional
school.
school. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But since it is online from last 1.5 years, so there is a particular
You are mute. Nidhi, you
the
got
number of classes are less. Also, the isn't is minimalistic kind of.
hmm, hmm,
So what I see in him, what I've observed in him is maybe it is innate. His cognitive skill, his emotional quotient, his understanding of the situation, um, um, lot of subtle logical things. I I've identified in him the answers which I get from his are lot more wittier uh, than a person maybe who's totally defined the way being directed in a particular way. I've read it somewhere in the past also that by giving a formal education and telling them that everything that how one thing happens and maybe filling their mind with lot of jargons, lot of dictations, lot of like giving them lot of information wherein the space for them to evolve their own understanding gets uh, congested,
hmm.
um, right? So their own thought process of uh, evolution gets suppressed somewhere when they are being taught too much to behave in a particular manner or to um, maybe the load of school, I think, affects their growth. Am I
Hmm.
right, Kalyan?
Yeah. So, yeah, right or wrong, we don't know. But this is a fact that when we school, we end up zapping their energy because we are,
Zapping them.
yeah, we are imposing a belief, and they are actually they start considering that as their own belief, and any belief means zapping of energy. I don't know if somebody is new to this term. I don't think everybody we have connected recently and discussed on this, right? That how belief deplete us. Anybody needs any clarification on this? How beliefs deplete us? Anyone in the group? So the schooling, Shankar, since you raised this, so can you share your observation on this?
That means
Your network is
am I audible?
no, you are not audible clearly.
Am I audible?
Yes, now.
So schooling is doctrination,
Yeah, yeah, yes.
or rather you can say engineered.
Yeah. So schooling is not the building we are talking about. That's understood, right? If at home also, if we start imposing, you do this, you do not do this, these kind of authorities, we chalk out a checklist for the child. That means I'm schooling him. Still I am schooling.
Can
So
I say
whole
something?
understanding of unschooling is something else. Yes, Nidhi.
We also teach
Your
them.
your voice is very low. Can you go a little
Okay.
louder?
We also teach them to behave in a particular manner.
Hmm.
This is a situation, you behave this way. If someone comes and you have behaved this way, that way. I think that is also too much schooling.
Yes. And can we identify the underlying belief behind doing this? Why one does in that way, imposing a child to do something in certain way?
To make
What
him
is the underlying belief?
so to make him acceptable to the larger part of the society and to make him
No, what is the inner processing of that individual? Primarily, that unless I guide this individual, he will go,
a wrong way.
yeah, go in a wrong way, or go in a go away from the societal norms.
Societal norms, right?
And let's draw a correlation from the understanding of healing, natural healing. The whole understanding of natural healing is, naturally the organisms are equipped towards equipped with the movement towards health. All the organisms. This is the core identification of the fact that lead us to identify the healing capability, the self-healing capability. Similar to this, self-learning is also natural knack. Because without learning, an organism cannot move forward. Every bits and pieces of information are being learned. And this learning is an action. Learning is acting. We term that they're playing, all those stuff, all those. Yeah, Meenu, you want to say something in 1 minute?
Yeah, so I was saying that can we say that learning is the rational order, like from action to feeling, feeling to thinking, and the next action? That is what is learning.
Yeah, that is also a learning, and that is the natural learning, natural order of learning. But the problem that we identify with the schooling is children end up learning anything. Even they learn from the ideas being imposed, and that creates that irrational development. What you have identified is a natural way of learning, how an organism learns. The physical experience, transporting the, translating into sensation, and then being translated into the perception. Further, the next set of action, then sensation, perception. That's obviously a natural order.
Yeah, and that is what is basically learning. When we say learning, we mean this.
Yes,
And
the self-learning.
whatever is changing this order is naturally a blockage.
Because of the zapping of energy.
Yeah.
The individual will not be left with a lot of energy to take the action.
Yeah.
Naturally. So the stimulated or suppressed action becomes his identification of action going forward. Now that individual, when grows up, start identifying that the stimulated actions are only the actions. The natural, there is no existence or identification of natural action anymore in that individual. And we see these kind of individuals around.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, Hans.
so I want to share my own experience with schooling and unschooling, and I have a question in the end. So, in case of my daughter, I initially put her in a preschool, which was just a conventional school, and I have seen her going from a very happy, like spontaneous child to becoming a rebellious kind of child. So, in the school, I used to get a lot of complaints that she's not interested in learning, she's not interested in writing, she's not interested in listening. She runs out of the class and roams around all over. So I didn't like, I also used to tell the teachers that for a small child, why you need to complain so much? Because she's just a small child. She must be 3 years, 4 years old. And for that child, they used to complain a lot. So that is when I started taking seriously that I have to think of some other options for her, because I saw her dislike for learning, like learning in the sense that whatever they're teaching in the school, the literature, whatever, subjects and all that. And also I came across a video where the like presenter is talking about how children, because they are told no so many times, that by the time they reach teenage, they become frustrated with everything, and they don't want to try anything new, because where they're told no, 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 no. So that's when I started thinking about it. And I finally, when she went to grade 1 and whatever, like at age of 6, I put her in a school which was, that school never called themselves school. They told we are homeschooling, you can say, or you can say they themselves told that we are like doing unschooling only, where there were no subjects. Right now, she doesn't have any fixed subjects. They are only electives, they are clubs, they are corners. So a child can pick whatever they want to pick. Even if they're picking something, if they're going to the that particular corner where they're teaching, and if they are not interested in, over the time they find they're not interested, they can skip that and do something else. So when I put her there, I could see that she was actually, in the preschool they used to tell that by this age she should have learned how to read and all that. But she didn't learn actually, because she was not at all interested. She was very clear that she doesn't want to learn all those things. And when she joined this place where there was no pressure of anything, so there used to be books, and if you want to read yourself, you can read yourself, and if you want someone else to read for you, someone else will read for you. And I can tell you that within 6 months she was able to read everything. Before that she didn't even know alphabets, because she suddenly got interest in that. So I could see how it was helping her, and slowly she now knows everything. Like she knows everything that to express herself. She knows how to express herself, and she's very clear whatever she wants to do. So that is one aspect. Yeah. Another aspect is that recently, like I realized that unschooling is happening for her, but at home there is still schooling. Because I was not aware that there are things that I used to do which was the same thing. Like we are trying to, like, you have to brush your teeth before having food, you have to take bath, or all those stuff. So these are small things which I figured out that I was doing on her. So those things are still there. Now my question is, because I have been telling her that you should brush your teeth or you should take bath, she has got like, I don't say hatred, but she doesn't want to see. Whenever I ask her, I don't ask her anymore, but I used to ask her. She doesn't want to do. She's very clear. She doesn't want to do it, and if she does, also there's a lot of reluctance. So I have stopped doing those things, but I seriously wonder that will she ever, if she's not listening to me, and I'm not telling her, but what if she doesn't want to do it ever? So like you were saying that the homeostasis will bring her back to, but I don't get that. I feel that what if she doesn't?
Yeah. So the same question goes to you. What if she doesn't?
And yeah, I understand. And I was today I was inquiring about it, and I was thinking that that insecurity is there within me. What if she doesn't go for taking sun bath, or whatever? What if she doesn't do this? She will not be healthy, and I'm somewhere scared that what if she's not healthy? She will end up like, because in my childhood I was told that you're not a healthy child, because I used to, even if I eat something which is not like junk food, I used to get loose motions. Now when I realize it, I think I was healthy enough, because I was able to figure my body was throwing out things, but I was told I was not healthy because nobody else is getting. Why are you getting this? So the whole childhood I spent thinking that I'm not a healthy child. So somewhere that insecurity is there in my mind, that my child should not become she should be healthier than me. So today when I was figuring out, I figured out that this was my own insecurity. So that's what. So that's why I'm so bothered. What if she doesn't do it? What if she falls sick like this? Falling sick means like if I'm not sending, she's not going for sunbathing and all that. What if her body becomes weak, or her bones become bones become weak or whatever? What if it never happens? So still, maybe I'm myself unlearning a lot of things, and someday I will be fine with that also. But right now,
No, let's
it is.
find it.
Yeah.
Let's inquire
Yeah,
this together. Like, what if she doesn't when we say that? What if she doesn't when we say that? What is the underlying belief that she might endanger herself
Yes.
and go unnatural?
Yeah. Right.
That kind of insecurity that you identify, right?
Yeah. Right.
Now, what is the base or the foundation of this insecurity that we need to understand? Because by now we started identifying that the stimulations actually take away from the path of nature.
Right.
And the only concern that I also personally as a parent do have concern means identification, that if we suppose we leave the schooling from our side, not putting any authority, as you say, but she has exposure to all sorts of stimulations around. And if she gets attached to those stimulations, then definitely the kind of action that we are expecting as a natural action will emerge out of her will not emerge out of her.
Right.
She may get in other direction, which is absolutely unnatural. So these are the concerns that we have. Right? How to address these concerns? That's the primary challenge. How to address? Am I translating it, comprehending?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes. That is what. Like, for example, if I don't tell her, if I don't remind her that you're watching TV, she will go on watching TV. So
No,
somewhere
come
I
again.
feel like
I couldn't get that.
So what I was telling, like for example, I have this thing in my mind that if she's watching TV, and if I don't remind her that you're watching TV for last 1 hour or 2 hours, so she will, if I don't put any kind of interference, she will go on watching TV. And then I again get that concern that what if she goes on watching TV all her life? So that's what you said, right? Yeah.
Yes.
What if the inquiry never comes into her because she's watching TV? And I also got one more identification there, that said if she's watching TV and I'm leaving her to watch TV, but if I'm not creating an environment which is like, if I'm not creating an environment where she can just, if she turns around and sees that somebody's playing and enjoying, so at least she will see, oh, that is also one option to do. Are you getting me what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, what if I'm not creating like if she's watching TV, I'm letting her watch TV, but if the environment around her is not supportive of inquiry, I can say like that, then my fear is that she will never go for inquiry.
Yes. So here we need to identify the aspects that why is she watching TV? Why is she watching TV? Because the children or any organism, and primarily the Homo sapiens, have got this knack of exploring the information around. If they are not getting enough information around, they will stick to any window which is giving lot of information, of virtual information there. Now, there is no, not a bit of suspicion that if you can create a physical environment, this is a virtual environment. If you can create a physical environment around your family, within the family, that there are physical interactions going on, meaningful
right.
physical interaction, then
Right.
definitely she will be interested in this. So for example, you raised a concern that until I ask her to brush her teeth, she doesn't.
Right.
Now, if you stop saying and just conforming your cleanliness, your own cleanliness, and having a lot of agendaless time with her, without agenda, spending time together,
Right. Right.
then she will end up following your steps. She will replicate you. That no, I will brush my teeth. She will run behind you when you go to the wash station to brush your teeth. She will say that I'll also brush.
Yeah, right, sir. But already I have told her so many times earlier that she has become, she has developed,
Immune kind of,
yeah,
that
yeah,
inert.
not only immune, she
blunt,
has
yeah.
developed an aversion for brushing her teeth, because if I go to her, she knows at this time she'll tell this only, at that time she will that only. She is assuming it. So that in the such cases, it becomes
Yeah,
very
so it will
difficult.
take time, some time
Right.
maybe to. Yeah, Meenu, you wanted to say something. I muted you because there was some noise.
Yeah, I was just saying that what we can do in
Why are you moving so much?
sir, actually I'm leaving tomorrow for Calcutta, so
Uh-huh.
just there's some pending works. I was just and we have to
No,
go
at
somewhere.
least when you are in the session and talking, that time you can be stable.
Yeah, I can be stable now. Sir, what I was saying is that, just quickly I'll make 2 points.
Yes, yes.
One is that if we are ourselves maintaining the integrity, whatever the inquiry mode, if we are maintaining that, then no matter how much external stimulation or whatever is there, the primary caregiver child always like kind of the relationship, if we are also like spending time with the child agendalessly and doing the things whatever in the spirit of inquiry ourselves, then I think that is the best that one can do. And after that, eventually what the child will do, will not do is kind of just to be left to them. Eventually, like what will they do about the stimulations and all that thing that we are discussing.
Thank you.
I agree totally.
I can't hear you.
We can hear Ansu.
Yeah,
Ansu?
I agree totally with Meenu. But that is the thing that we, as a parent, we have to drop this thing that if we are not doing something, child will not be able to. Child has.
Now,
We have to.
now the
Yeah,
kind of
because-
desensitization you were talking about, that so many times you asked her to brush her teeth. Now she has an aversion towards the brushing of her teeth.
Right.
But if we can just identify the aspects of brushing teeth, what is the requirement of brushing teeth? The primary requirement is the cleanliness of the teeth, so that the health is not compromised from that intake side, the door of the body kind of. So right, that's the rationale. That's the rationale. Now, now any organism, even though they are not taking conventional bath, like I see my daughter Montaj plays with a few wild cats. They never take bath, but they're so clean. Like we have not seen them to take bath conventionally. Like she proposes that can we bath them? I asked that try out sometime. You'll get a kick from them. So the conventional bathing, these memes and all we have put up. But organisms are structured to clean themselves naturally, because that's the way we maintain health. All the organisms maintain health. So if she is not cleaning herself, she will definitely identify if she is left free, not engaged vitality. Then with the conserved vitality, she will identify, okay, I have to wash my mouth now. It is having, I'm getting foul smell. I'm not getting the proper taste of the food. So she will, and that's what's the natural movement towards brushing the teeth. That time you may certainly propose that for this only we usually brush our teeth. So
Okay.
that may come in. Just I'm saying that it's a
I think,
natural
yeah, as
movement
a
towards the
parent, we-
cleanliness. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think as a parent, we have to stop being hyperactive.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
mean,
beliefs
yeah.
play around actually. The
Yeah,
belief
right.
that if they don't brush, then it is going to happen. If they brush, this is going to happen. But even if she is brushing, then also it may happen what you are fearing of,
Right.
you are scared of.
Right.
Yeah, Dr. Kaur, ma'am, say something. We want to hear your voice.
आज तो सुनने में ही there is lot of nice things which I have been hearing.
But we
उसी में
want to hear
satisfy हो
from,
गया.
we
कुछ
want to hear
भी-
from you. You have a grown-up child, so
Yeah. Same experience here. Gone through so many things कि अभी तो ऐसा ही लगता है कि there is no need actually, no need as you were discussing, no need to impose, because they have their life of their own, and that life has its own path, which may be just maybe similar to us, maybe very different. So the only thing we can do is be available to them, be available with our perception, with our sensitivity. Whatever I want them to do, if I can be an example to them, and that also they have a choice whether to accept that or not. So with my son, same thing I am experiencing. He is very different. He has grown out to be a very different person than what we would have thought him to be. But still, like I follow naturopathy, he indirectly follows it. He supports me. उसने मेरा बॉम्बे का टिकट सडनली आज करा भी दिया.
करा
Mom,
भी
you
दे?
don't करा भी दिया.
So
मैंने
you,
अभी आपको कंफर्म नहीं
you
किया.
had a conversation with Pinal?
Yeah.
Okay.
नहीं वो
Okay.
I'm coming alone actually. वो
Okay, mummy
छुट्टी
is
नहीं
not
मिल
coming?
पाया. नहीं, I didn't
Mummy?
get more leave. 2 days
Okay,
का ही
for
leave
that
मिला.
trip,
I didn't
for
get
that trip.
leave. हाँ जी.
Okay.
So that way, or those things do influence, but still, life is very big. It's mystery. What will happen is totally a mystery. But everything turns out well, and it should be acceptable.
Yeah, Nandini, you raised hand. Nandini, please.
Yes, I did. This was in relation to the children and not brushing teeth. My younger one, when she was like 4 and she had to go to school, so she would refuse to brush her teeth and comb her hair. Now, without these two things, you can't go to school. So it used to be a very tough battle, because then the problem would be I'm running after her, trying to do her hair. She
Everyday
won't do
battle.
it. Everyday battle, and then the dad would be saying, okay, let it be. So more of a battle. So I mean, it is tough, because if we sublet the thing of bringing up children, and I gather that children have to be brought up in a way, I mean, we have to basically learn and unlearn in the meanwhile. But in the process, I mean, such situations, I suppose that we sublet this education business, because I suppose we can't handle it on our own. I mean, generally we feel quite diffident. How will the child manage later in life, or, pass exams or not pass exams, do what? But now, as my elder one is now 16 and she's learning art, and I see how it works for her. If she wants to do, she'll do it. She doesn't want to do it, she won't do it. And whether her teacher is screeching around, trying to get her to meet her deadlines, she just doesn't bother. And I can't make it happen because I don't ask her to, finish her work. Whether if she finishes her submissions, fine, and she's just finished her 10th. It has been a very tough thing because, being on a track to give the child all the freedom, not getting after her. I see other parents are like that. They are so much into school and so much into the parent-teacher meeting, both parents sitting there. And here I finish in less than a minute because there's nothing to really, interact about, except, okay, if things are going on fine, everything's okay. So that's the way it is. And yeah, even though, well, the battle has begun. I mean, being a semi-adult now, well, I suppose things will work out the way they
Yes.
are. But yes, my elder one is very different from me. And while I am more into, laboriously doing things, she is completely a free person. So I don't think she will ever learn from me, so to speak. But I'm okay with that.
You never know.
I'm-
You never
yeah.
know. Let's not conclude.
I am doing my
So,
own thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Nagalashmi, you want to share? Yeah, please.
Yeah, so regarding everyone are talking about brushing the teeth, I just got a I just got a question like what is the logic of brushing the teeth? Like again, I mean in terms of nature cure, if I see again the toothpaste, it's a chemically loaded
Useless.
paste,
Yeah.
and the brush again there is a plastic fibers or bamboo or so many new things are coming up. So is that logic of
Yes.
brushing? Because I heard from my grandparents that they used to use some twig, some powder. Yeah, tooth powders are still available, but not much in use in everyday life. So
Yes.
what's
So-
the logic in brushing with
There's no
toothbrush
logic.
and
There's no
paste?
logic.
Yeah.
Absolutely, there's no logic. If you are into chewing your raw food, then there is no requirement of brushing. Now, I remember this morning, my mother was saying that she used to have that the layers in her teeth earlier, which used to be scaled out, like the scaling, in dentist, with dentists, they used to clean that stonification of food materials which get deposited in the teeth conventionally. Are you guys aware that these
Yeah.
things happen?
Yeah.
So that
Yes,
used to be
of
done.
course.
That used to be done twice in a year or kind of thing. Now, since last 6 years, there was not a single visit to the dentist. And the teeth is absolutely clean without any scaling and all. Though she brushes regularly, normal brushing, but what affected is that what brought the change is the chewing. If you chew your raw food properly, proper mastication eliminates the requirement of brushing. So I see Kavya is here, and if she can chew her fruits and vegetables well, then she can skip brushing her teeth. That's an information for her, right, Kavya? Oh, my internet. There's some instability. Hello.
She takes a long time in chewing her food.
Yeah, so she doesn't require brushing.
That's
She's
it.
relieved.
She will
She's
never
relieved.
brush.
Woo. Yeah, Nagalakshmi. So,
Yeah. So what about the in this case? What about the logic of food particles or anything getting stuck in between the teeth, for which currently we see the
no,
ad
if it
of
is a natural food, it will
floss.
not stuck. It will not stuck and it will not be staying there. Just with water, it will be cleaned. But just only that modified foods, they are not moving the way natural food moves. They get stuck with lot of sugar content and all this stuff.
So, can I say something on this, Kalyan?
Yeah, Nidhi, little louder. We have
Yeah, what
around 1.5
I've read
minutes.
about this was the people rather who are in the habit of brushing twice a day, the teeth gets degenerated. It gets affected passively,
Yeah,
rather, which is my understanding.
agree. Like it's a process. It's very sharp brushing that we need. The objective is to clean, not to make a shining of the teeth. Objective is to clean the food particles; those get stuck there. So yeah.
But normally, like, when we stop brushing or when we have this light brushing, uh, teeth color tends to turn a little yellowish, and then we go to dentist for a cleaning or whitening, or
So
I
that,
don't know the logic behind.
yeah, those are the ideas.
Just
Of,
asking
I
it.
have a white clean. I should have white teeth. Those ideas play there. Yeah. So we have few seconds actually left in this session. So and today we will not have the third session because it's late. 8:20. Right? All are good. So we'll catch up again next week. Next week we are traveling to northern part, but we'll be in touch and we'll have the same similar session. So from Kolkata to Agra, and like from Asansol to Agra, we are driving on Monday. But we'll be definitely catching up